Well, you saw exactly a little bit what's happened to us in a couple of those games. We probably, before you guys got here, I know you guys sleep in, but we were working early, and we had a phenomenal practice in the last 15 minutes. We sucked. We didn't do a very good job, And that's a little bit the problem right now. We got to work through that. We struggle to keep the focus the whole time. And there's a couple of my upperclassmen, that didn't, especially inside, that didn't do the job. So that's what we're working on. And we'll get better at it tonight when we have our next practice. And so I was really pleased with yesterday's and today's practices. I think we're making some progress. I really do. And I'm just looking forward to tonight's practice so that we can do a little better job than we did today. And Oakland, they had a big win last night on the road against a good team, Northern Kentucky, who I know the coach real well, very well coached team. I think they were 8-2 or 9-2 going into the game. Campy's Campy, he does an unbelievable job. He plays the most screwed up zone. He keeps telling me he knows what he's doing. I don't believe him, but they're confused. We're confused. He's confused. Everybody's confused. Has some success because he gets his guys to play really hard. They're a different team this year. They're a little more physical, I think, than they've been in the past. And hopefully it's going to be a big crowd and see what we do.
When you're scouting a team like that, do you take more from that murderer's row of games they played, Michigan, Purdue, Houston, or a like opponent like Toledo?
No, because they had a couple kids miss it in the Michigan game. They've had a couple injuries early. It doesn't really matter who they play. I mean, they've given up a lot of points against some of the smaller teams, too. That zone can be very good or not, but what he's done a great job of this year. They have the ability to score the ball better. So they're scoring. They scored 98, 97 in a win. So I just look at all of them, when there's only 10 games to look at. That's a good time to... What am I going to do?
You like these days of double practices even more than the games?
Yeah, they're the best. Because we don't get to spend the time, and really get intricate at what we want to do. We don't get to do that anymore. The schedules are so tough. The rules, you can't. Although it's probably the only rule that you get nailed on. You can give a kid a bank now, but you can't go past the 20 hours. That's nice that we can do that now. And I think the kids are, they know it. They understand it. Some of my former guys call and say, hey, this is when we get better, So they all know the drill. They just got to fight through it. Good day today. They're excited we'll come back tonight.
So you went twice tomorrow, or yesterday you went twice also?
Yesterday we went 1.5. Yeah.
Two times today.
Yep.
You've got Oakland on the schedule every year. It's become kind of like a conference game in terms of muscle memory in some ways. But their roster turns over a lot, too.
That's the problem. Their roster turns over a lot, but it becomes, like you start asking yourself when, how many times you beat a team in a row. That's well coached and a damn good team. And, maybe it is what it is. But I still enjoy the game because of camp, number one, because it is a school that we've been associated with at Michigan State, too. It gives our people down there a chance. It's always been a pretty damn good crowd, and I'm hoping it'll be that way. And this year, gives the kids a chance to walk around and get there a little early. We get to practice at the arena. You're in Detroit and all the things that go on there at Christmas. So it's a win-win, and except if you don't win.
You think your players like playing at Little Caesars?
I do, we noticed watching the film from last year's game that our kids got a little screwed up because we must have taken 8 threes from behind the NBA three. There were 2 lines there. So we get a little screwed up. The NBA's blue and the other one's white. And so we've had to remind our guys, make sure like tonight we'll probably put another line down so they understand that, it's not their fault. They just see the line and they start jacking threes that are 2 feet farther back. And so that's the only thing that's bad. But yeah, they enjoy playing down there. It's been great, and we've had some great crowds.
You remember your first interaction with Campy?
I know it wasn't recruiting because he's. It could have been on the golf course. He spends a lot of time on the golf course, so it could have been on the golf course. Now, all kidding aside, I don't remember my first time with him, but I always respected what he did, you know, and how he did it. I mean, it's different. There's a lot of things that are different, but very seldom does he not get a lot out of his team, and I have tremendous respect for
I
that.
just texted him about the sweater. He said it's Loopy's this year. She's in charge, and you already have yours. Is that right?
No, what happened this year is, you know, he's always bought the sweater, and he's
Right.
complained about it because he says he doesn't make enough money. So my neighbor at my beach house worked for me.
Oh.
And one time, she's from Chicago. She has a company. So she asked if she could put together a couple of sweaters. So Campy will get his tomorrow night when we get there.
You like it, huh?
It's okay, yeah, you know, I mean, I feel like an idiot half the time. I mean, how would you like to be Grinch and get a T? Or Santa and get a technical? You know, that happened one year. That's not so much fun, but it's you know what, it was all his idea, and I just went along with it, and now it's become a tradition, and it's actually a pretty good tradition.
How did this, when Nick moved up to you, how did this series come out? Did he approach you or did you approach him?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know if that was a Hollis deal way back then, and, because I think what we were trying to do is get a game in Detroit, and that looked like a good way to do it, I think. Ask him that. He should have more knowledge than me. But
Sure about that?
am I sure that he has more knowledge than me? Yeah. But you know, it sure has been a long tradition. How many games in a row has it been?
Started in 01.
There was a little break in there, but I mean,
There was a little break. About 21 or 22.
01, I thought Bell's senior year was the first year down at the O Arena, wasn't it?
No, 97, 98.
Well, we opened their arena.
97.
We opened their arena. That's where it started. He begged me to come down and open his arena, and I think I had Mateen in that man, right?
I think it was Charlie's senior year.
No, it was sophomore year. It was
What?
97, 98. And that's when DJ was on their staff.
Yep. Yeah. Boy, see, you guys don't need to ask me questions. You already got the answers.
You talked about the roster turnover. Anderson was the guy that's setting up for them, right? What do you think of him? What you've seen?
I mean, that's what I said. You know, he finds guys. I don't know where he finds them. Maybe I should make him my GM and bring him up here. You know, but he does find guys every year, and he's one of the new ones. You know, that they're a different team because they're bullish strong now, and they go right through you and draw a lot of fouls, and so. I don't know. I like his team. I mean, he's got guys that can shoot it. He's got last night's game. I think 5 guys were in double figures, and the one guy that wasn't is his third leading scorer. So he's done it a lot of different ways, and he's adjustable, man. I give him credit.
And how would you ideally like to get out of these next two at the 2-guard spot? If you could map it out perfectly, I mean, what would success be with the next two for you in that?
And I can find somebody that makes some shots, which we're getting better at, and then just remotely guard somebody. I've not been pleased with that, so I don't mind saying it publicly. There's not been enough grit on the defensive end in that position. Now, I do think we've made a little progress here. I really do. But that's what we got to really get better. And so, someone who can score it decently, defend it well, and run the lane, we got to improve our break. And I think Jeremy and I have had a bunch of meetings, and I think he sees some things that he can do better. And I think we can get our moves going. And Coop's got to run down the middle. I mean, when he does, he's dynamite. So we got to get him.
You always emphasize the transition game, fast break, a little bit more now because you didn't have it in as much traction here when you were playing Duke, Kentucky, and Arkansas, and all those back-to-back grinders.
Yeah, you know, even Arkansas, we ran decent. We didn't always score it, but we did not run great against Duke. We did not run great against Penn State at all. And I think some of it, teams do decide and take things away, but some of it is us. So we looked at what was us. We think we found some things, outlets, where we're getting them, point guard pushes, what we're doing, and we tried to really work on that these last couple of
Two things for Garland is an education. He just said back to a Northern Michigan game, the best defense is a fast break. Never thought of it that way.
It is because people start worrying about you offensively as they take shots or do things. They're saying, "Oh man, I got to get back." They're coming at us. It also hurt teams from offensive rebounding if your fast break is good. So Mike's right, even in retirement, he's right. And the other thing is, they have a good zone. If you beat it down the field, you don't have to face the zone. So fast break for us is just part of life. Defend, rebound, and run. It hasn't changed. And why should it? It's still a staple of good play. Yeah.
Down, but what have you seen in the that's allowed that over the last couple of years?
Yeah, like Kerr, 2/3 of the summer, he shot it like he did all last year. You guys saw him really good, Shooters are sometimes, they're like kickers, they're like pitchers, Some of the times it's more mental, and you get in a little slump, and I think that's what happens. And I will say this about him, there's nobody that works harder to work his way out of it. But they are all shooting the ball better. And now, if we can get some rotation in there, which we did a little better job of last game, we went back to last year and started looking at minutes. We thought we were playing Cohen and Jeremy a little too many minutes in length of stretches. And so, Doug and I have sat down and looked at that. And these are all the things you tinker with until Christmas, so we're still tinkering. Maybe Santa will bring somebody a defensive stance when they go home, so that's what I'm hoping for.
Is there anything with you faced opposite some zones, maybe in Toledo? Is there anything in how you guys did against that you carries over to Oakland, or is what they do a little bit too?
Well, what they do is really different. But we did something really unique after the Duke game. The head coach decided to work on the zone. So when I say that, if you think I'm being humility or self-deprecating or whatever the big words are, no, it's flat out, I didn't do my job on that. And so we've spent a lot more time, and I'm looking forward to see how we do against the zone.
When we were here, we saw you work on the zone before the Duke game. You worked on it.
Yeah, minutes though, you like everything else in life, what you put the time into is what you get out of it. We didn't put enough time into it because they played 2 minutes of zone, I've had that happen one other time, and I should know better. So we'll blame the players for things, but then there's times you get to blame the coach.
20 hours.
That last touch where you took straight forward at the three. His athleticism, is that a good way to get a sort of roll for him to get out on the break?
Yeah, we can. I feel for Trey right now because he's getting caught in the last 2 games with the odd man out a little bit, not getting in the rotation as solidly. That can change as it did last year, but it's hard when you've been in 4 different programs and you're trying to guard things. He's saying, do I guard it like I did at Jawaiza Junior College or at Mississippi State or at Birmingham? It's difficult, and in fairness to him, that's difficult, and it usually takes a while. And he's gone through some tough times, and yet he's a great kid. I love him. So I think if we can get him some time, I think if we can get a rotation down like we did last year, I think it'll make us a better team too.
It's Morris Peterson 4 years.
It did.
So
maybe I put a cast on him. Put a cast on like I did.
Is the lateral movement there at the shooting guard position with all those guys? Comes and goes.
Mine should have the best of it. Right now, it's Jaden or Jordan has the best. But for as athletic as Trey is, that's what he's got to improve on. And Kerr, that's not one of his strengths. But if he shoots it like he's been shooting, I'll live with that.
You talk about grit, Matt. I feel like it's hard to evaluate recruiting when a guy who's like the star player on a team. It doesn't show up as much, or am I reading it wrong?
No, you're reading it right, because sometimes the star player on the team, the coach doesn't want to get him in foul trouble, so he puts him on a different guy, this and that. That makes it hard. And sometimes, recruiting the portal kids, it's a little bit harder. Like I said, would you want to get married to a girl for a week? That's hard. It's hard to figure out all the things about her in a week, and that's kind of what we're asked to do now. So it's a good excuse, but it's a reality. And that makes it hard on the guys too, if you ask me. But so we got to do a better job of coaching. I've been spoiled here over the years because I could recruit the type of kids that I wanted. Now I still can, but now you're getting some other kids that sometimes you can't do that with.
Divine's last three-pointer against Penn State late in the game, and you went to him on a decoy and then brought him on the baseline. So even though the shooting guard has musical chairs, at times he still has to be that position still.
Well, what he brings is kind of a 1-2 too. So he brings another ball-handling decision maker on the court. But look at the last game. Denham in 6.5 minutes had 6 assists, 1 turnover. If you put people in position to be successful, sometimes I think we put him when it was just a point. He doesn't have the voice. He doesn't have the command that you need. So he's been a little, I think, more comfortable, and then we can move him back and forth.
And you went to him because of the game he was having, or just because you need that out of that position too?
Both, but it was the game he was having, and we had 2 options on that play, and it was a good option.
Did you ever worry about this game before Christmas that the players' minds were already on the game?
Always, never a day, because it's always Oakland, it seems like, and sometimes Campbell's got a really bad record because he's so dumb. He plays like 6 of us, and 99%, I'm the only one that's not always on the road. If you're playing Kansas, it's on the road. If you're playing Arizona, it's on the road. If you play Kentucky, it's on the road. Indiana and Purdue, they're all road games. So his record is always bad, and that gives both fans, media, and your own players a perception that they're not that good. But it doesn't matter what his record is. He's been good all the time. I can't think of how many big blowouts we've had with him, and you couldn't count them on a finger. So I know what I know, and the nice thing about having an extra day to prepare them, we've had 3 extra film sessions just to talk about how good they are and what they can do that can hurt us.
I had one accordion question. I swear it's the last one later. You know the motto of the accordion. This is very niche.
Wow. You guys ask some dumb questions once in a while. I give some dumb answers, by the way, so I'm just as bad. But that one will go down when I write a book, probably after I'm dead, and I write the book. That'll be one I'll remember for a chapter. I don't know, and I don't have it upstairs anymore. I had it here for a couple of days. I practiced just to make my managers sick while they were up there watching film. But I've had it forever. I started playing when I was 12 or 13. My mother was a big piano player, organ player, and that next year, I think I was 12, I broke my knuckles. Only injuries I've ever had. Then I broke a finger, then it was this finger, then this one. So I went like 2 years without playing. I played a little bit after that. I got the new accordion for Christmas or something. I played a little after that. And then I was talking to Mariucci last night. The next time I played was at our Christmas party when him and I were GAs. We couldn't cook. We had to bring something to the party. So I brought my accordion. I put him on my shoulder. We called it a day. And then I just decided. So every Christmas I played. Practice one day and I'd play a couple of. But I did practice 2 days. I was better, wasn't I, Fred? Huh?
You were on your game.
Yeah, it's a good Italian
You're
instrument.
usually 2 and done. You played like 4 songs.
Yeah, 5, to be honest with you.
Did Mariucci sing or what? What are you doing?
He hummed. He got a bad voice. But we were laughing last night on the phone. In fact, he was going to call in and we couldn't get that thing worked out. But so that's really, I probably went 40 years without touching, that long. So it's cool. Gives me something to divert from. Now I'll put it away and then Christmas Eve I'll take it out. Play.
Did family make you break that out when you were a kid, like at Christmas?
No, because after I broke my fingers and my knuckles, all kind of within a 2-3 year period, kind of forgot how to play. I didn't do anything. I got to college and then I'm just thinking around with it.
What's your mom did Christmas music?
Oh yeah, my mom's 99. She can still play the piano, but that's pretty cool. So, that's the one thing I did for her. So I tried to get it streamed to her last night. I haven't talked to her today, see if she watched it, but she'll feel good about that. Moms are.
As far as communication goes, one more basketball thing. Jesse, don't worry about his communication.
No, Jesse, and you want to hear something funny about that? So Doug and I go to watch him at where's the amusement park in Toledo? Cedar Point. So we go to this tournament in Cedar Point. And he's a sophomore.
Sandusky, but whatever.
Yeah, Sandusky. Yeah, it's called Cedar Point, not Toledo. Damn. And listen, I'm a coach. I'm not a history or I'm not a geography major.
Just want to get it right.
So anyway, Doug and I are sitting on a baseline, and this little sophomore's out there talking his brains out. And we both said we like that kid, Then he looked at his skills, but he communicated. His father did a great job with him. He's communicated from the get-go, and that's been a real positive. And I think he's going to be good. Yeah, freshmen are all talking. I mean, Jordan's getting better. He's still got a shy voice, but he's got a high basketball IQ. And Cam was really good at it. When he got hurt, and it was his first injury ever. It's taken him a little longer to come back, but I think he's coming back now because he was playing really well before that Duke game.
You're not gonna let Divine stay quiet, though, are you?
No, I'm not Divine so bad, and sometimes I feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for many people, but I do feel bad for him because it's just relentless. And he is, last night, those of you that were there, he sung a little bit, right? That was a big step for him. I was impressed. I told him today, I said, you get brownie points. I'm going to stay off you today. It's cool.
Because you've had point guards in the past that you've stayed on for 4 years to talk.
Yeah, Neitzel was one, and
Charlie Bell.
Charlie, when he was a senior, and like Tom, I didn't have to worry about it. Keith, I did. Who else? Even Kalen, wasn't great at that. It's hard to communicate. I mean, it's not an easy thing. So if I don't see you guys, I do hope you have a good holiday. I mean, I'll see it at the thing, but I won't get to say it with any passion. I do hope you enjoy your families and your friends and have a good holiday. And we're going to go down and try to play well. It is a nerve-wracking game. There'll be a lot of sleepless nights between now and then because you don't want to end that way, and yet I know what they have done to us in the past.
You'll see us. Loopy invited us for Christmas Eve. You don't know that.
You coming? What are you then? I'm playing the accordion. What are you
I
playing?
think I'll be Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho.
I think you'd be a good one. Authentic. All right, guys.
Yeah.